Schools allowing children to identify as horses, dinosaurs and cats as pupils communicate with animal noises. What's the UK equivalent of the Babylon Bee? It's not the Babylon Bee, it's real! So if you recall the video I did yesterday, if not, go and watch it, where two 13-year-old students at a Church of England school were called transphobic by their teacher and threatened with being booted out of their school altogether for disagreeing with the premise that it was reasonable for their classmate to identify as a cat. But it's not even a one-off. Turns out it's rife across the country. Teachers, in fear of being cancelled, are being forced to seriously acknowledge and respond to students who communicate and answer questions via animal noises. We slipped into some absurdist alternate universe or something. What's happening? But forget cats. Identifying as a cat is starting to look like the reasonable end of the spectrum. Some are now identifying as dinosaurs, and another wears a cape and identifies as the moon. In some reported instances, classes have faced severe disruption as pupils insist on answering teachers' questions and communicating via animal noises. A classroom full of kids, when they're asked a question by the teacher, meowing, barking and roaring in response. Peak woke? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. In a particularly disruptive case, the newspaper spoke to a student in Wales who claimed a classmate had identified as a cat for 3 years. The people complained when they answer questions, they meow rather than answer a question in English. And the teachers are not allowed to get annoyed about this because it's seen as discriminating. Transcatphobic. There's reports they're crawling on all fours and demanding litter boxes in the toilets. They're literally furry cosplaying in schools, describing it as their fursona. And if you don't respect it, you're a bigot. Tracy Shaw, spokesperson for the Safe Schools Alliance, said teachers should be asking themselves, what are these children looking at online? What forums are they on? What is happening in that child's life and who else is involved? Gee, I wonder what could have caused all this? And it's all being treated with the utmost seriousness by teachers because they're, quote, frightened of doing the wrong thing. Now the government, which by the way allowed all this to metastasize over the last 10 years and did nothing, is having to publicly dissuade teachers from allowing students to identify as animals. Yes, this is an actual headline in a serious newspaper. Head teachers should intervene to stop children identifying as moons, cats or other neo-genders, Downing Street has said. The same Downing Street, the same government that directs the streets of our capital city and all their government buildings to be adorned with the very occupation flag that demands our complete fealty, obedience and allegiance to this utter drivel. Get early access to videos, exclusive live streams and personally DM me. You've seen how much I get demonetized all the time. Well, this is how you support me. By subscribing at pauljosephwatson.locals.com. Please click the link in the description.